colors. this Day 2 Veterans Day together. Again, my name is Mike Thompson. I'm the president and co-founder of the Never Forgotten Honor Flight. We just recently finished our 18th Honor Flight mission on October 6th, and had also flown in September. And those veterans who flew on our October flight were 93 Korea vets, 1 World War II vet, and 1 Vietnam veteran. Back in July, when we called those veterans for their trip of a lifetime to Washington, D.C., a free trip to honor them, Mr. Dwayne Chrysler was called on that day, and just 1 week before his trip to Washington, D.C., he passed away. One of the things that we do as an honor flight hub when we get to D.C. is to honor a fallen comrade, and that's a veteran who did not live long enough to see his memorial. In honor of Dwayne Chrysler, we carried a picture of him from his days in Korea. And we placed that picture, it's a little bit difficult to see here, but we placed that picture on a wheelchair with the casket flag and his picture on that wheelchair at the Korea Memorial. And I'm here today to present this picture and this plaque to Mrs. Marilyn Chrysler. This plaque reads, "Flags of Our Heroes." Presents this certificate with gratitude to the family of Dwayne A. Chrysler. Thank you for allowing Honor Flight to carry an American flag on behalf of Dwayne to the Korea Memorial in Washington, D.C. on October 6, 2014. The flag was honored in Dwayne's name with a salute by the attending veterans and placed with honor at the Korea Memorial in memory of those fallen veterans who will never be able to visit their memorial. Mrs. Chrysler, I'd like to present this to you. I'd also like to wish all of our veterans happy Veterans Day, belated snow day late. Thank you.
Our 8th grade students once again participated in the Patriot's Pen Essay Competition, sponsored by our local V.F.W. The theme of this year's Patriot Pen Essay Competition is, "Why I Appreciate America's Veterans." Several of our winners will be presenting their speeches. Our first speaker is Daniel Evenson.
Greetings. My name is Daniel Evenson, and I represent the 8th grade student body here at Northland Pines Middle School. It is an honor and a privilege to be presenting here today. I would like to thank the ladies auxiliary for allowing me this opportunity. Thank you. The ultimate sacrifice. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, land of the pilgrim's pride, land where our fathers died. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. Francis Samuel Smith. Why can freedom ring from every mountainside? Why is the USA the sweet land of liberty? Why is it the land of the pilgrim's pride? It is so because of our veterans who gave up everything for everyone. These men were born in a day and age where they had to enlist at the age of 18. Many of these men, whether they fought in World War II, Korea, or Vietnam, saw unspeakable evil. They gave up the luxury of health and risked life and limb to bring health, liberty, and justice for all to this great country that we call America. While doing this, they gave freedom to countries that were being ruled by dictators and freed them of any injustice that oppressed them. Today, remember the veterans who fought to keep the American dream of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness alive. Some of our veterans who we commemorate today made the ultimate sacrifice, leaving their homes and families to fight for the well-being of the United States, the well-being of other countries. Many of them never came back. Many of our veterans who fought in the foreign wars never received the credit that they deserve. In 2001, I was adopted from Russia, which is a country that has gone so far down the wrong road that if it were not for our veterans, I would not be standing here today. I'm forever grateful to them for giving me the freedom to live in the USA without fear. We remember the veterans who fought in the foreign wars, because as Calvin Coolidge once said, a country that forgets its defenders will itself be forgotten. If we allow the names of our veterans to float into eternity unmentioned, the younger generation of American soldiers will take note of this and will abandon their enlistment contracts because they will think that they are fighting for nothing, and they will fall into deep despair of being forgotten. We should never, under any circumstances, forget to say thank you to the men and women who have sweat, bled, and cried to make freedom and the sweet land of liberty a reality. Thank you, veterans. God bless you.
In addition to the Patriots Pen Essay Contest, our high school students also participated in the Voice of Democracy Essay Contest. This year's theme is Why Veterans Are Important to Our Nation's History and Future. Our next speaker is the winner of the Voice of Democracy, Logan Patterson.
Sacrifices they make. According to John Doolittle, America's veterans have served their country with the belief that democracy and freedom are ideals to be upheld around the world. This concept really hits home to all of us that aren't fighting the war. Not everyone in the world is allowed to have the freedoms that we have and do the things that we do. The veterans that fight for us render possible all the freedoms that we have today. America's veterans are important to our future and past because they exhibit tremendous valor, aid other countries in their times of desperate need, and prove as excellent role models to our younger generations. An example of the tremendous valor the veterans show is when they first willingly sign up and risk their life for their country. The brave men and women that make up our national services throw themselves in harm's way to keep all of us safe at home. They live for, fight for, and would be willing to die for each other and our country. Soldiers like Audie Murphy, one of the most decorated soldiers in American history, demonstrated this mentality. He was the recipient of 3 Purple Hearts, and the day after the 3rd Purple Heart, he received the Medal of Honor, one of the highest military awards one could earn. If the soldiers that have fought in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and are fighting today in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran had not done what they decided to do, who knows what the structure of our nation would be like. We may not be here today if not for those that have served and those that will serve in their future. Aiding other countries in their struggles is of equal importance as contending with our own. In life, if you see one of your best friends struggling with home life, relationships, or any other form of adversity that presents itself, you help out. You don't just stand by and watch your friend, your comrade, your brother, or your sister weep in pain as you stand by not doing anything because you believe it's not your problem. That's not the American way. We are all on this earth to exhibit 3 freedoms: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Aiding other countries that don't have the fair shot that we do will pay off in the future if we encounter difficulties or if we ever need help because they will remember it. Without veterans, this wouldn't be possible. The efforts we have made to help the innocent people in war-ridden countries like Syria, Iraq, and North Korea will one day come back to work in our favor. Having given the 2 previous reasons, the third is that the youth are the future of our country and are just as important as the youth of our past, as they are now our men and women fighting in uniform and the veterans that have fought in wars past. Today, kids look up to men and women in uniform because they know the sacrifices made, the things done for our country, and the national symbol of bravery you serve as. There is a reason each and every one of the individuals today that are in uniform are in uniform. Whether it be a relative that served or that they were inspired by someone else when they were little to serve, they found inspiration to go into service somewhere. This is why it's important for the veterans and the soldiers of today to inspire our youth to serve in their future, to hold out all the privileges our country has, and to have the honor to be named American soldier. There are many reasons why our nation's men and women are important to our future and past. They are the key to future freedom and success in this nation. As George Orwell once said, people sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. Veterans are important because they first and foremost are looking out for the safety and better of others. They do what we all say and sometimes wish we do all the time:
Chorus will now present carnations to all veterans and the Ladies Auxiliary. It is a small token of our appreciation for your service and sacrifice. In addition, Ms. Cole's Middle School Family and Consumer Science Club will also be passing out a project they made for our veterans. Veterans, please stand or raise your hand.
home of the brave. They have risked their own lives to make us a better country. They have fought from places like Korea, Iraq, and Afghanistan, in sometimes brutal conditions. All of these things just for us. I'm pretty sure we all know who I'm talking about, and they are our United States veterans. These veterans have done everything in their hearts to make us a better country. This includes leaving their friends and family, and most importantly, what we call home. About 25 million veterans are living among us today. These men and women have set aside their home lives to put on a uniform and serve for our country. We owe all veterans a debt that we cannot fully repay. We do not only honor our veterans, but we also honor those who have lost their lives fighting for our country. These heroic people have committed the ultimate sacrifice, and we salute them all. It is essential that we provide the best care as possible toward our wounded and disabled veterans. It is also essential that we show respect toward all who have served and fought for our country. Caring for our veterans is the responsibility of a grateful nation, and we as America are one. We work together as a country and support the brave souls that even dare to battle in the depths of war. It takes courage to risk your own life or limb for your country's freedom. Whenever America has come under attack, they have risen to our country's defense, and us as Americans thank all of them for that. The next time that you see a veteran, stop for a minute and thank them all for that they have done for our country. It would really mean a lot to them, knowing that they have risked their lives for you and your country. Again, the United States veterans have made our country the land of the free and the home of the brave, and we as Americans very much appreciate that. Again, thank you, veterans.
Please help me to welcome our guest speaker today, Northland Pines High School math teacher and Air Force veteran, Mr. John Hayes.
Good morning. I'd like to start with a little story. There once was a chief, master sergeant, and he inherited a parrot. This parrot was a talking parrot, and he inherited from a gunnery sergeant that he knew his whole career. And the chief was nervous because he knew the colorful language that this gunnery sergeant just happened to be using all the time. So for the first few days, the parrot didn't say anything at all to the chief. And he thought that was unusual. He thought this would be a very talkative parrot. After a while, the parrot got kind of comfortable and it started using some of the colorful language that the gunnery sergeant had taught it. It was swearing, saying things that were inappropriate, and it kind of ticked the chief off a little bit. So the chief tried some things. The first thing he tried was whenever the parrot said something nice, he would give it a cracker. It didn't work. The parrot was still inappropriate. So the chief tried something else. Every time the parrot said something inappropriate, he took food away. That didn't work either. Finally, the chief got angry. And being a chief, he did what was necessary. He took the parrot and he stuffed it into the freezer. Now, he started feeling guilty after a little while, but he could hear that parrot in there swearing and saying inappropriate things, and suddenly it went quiet. The parrot didn't say anything at all. So he got nervous. He said, gosh, I hope I didn't kill that parrot. He opened the freezer. The parrot slowly walked out. And he said, well, parrot, have you learned your lesson? Are you going to swear? The parrot said, no, I'm not going to swear anymore, ever again. He said, incidentally, what did that turkey do in there? Yeah, that's a good one. Give it a minute, it'll sink in. It's Thanksgiving, you know, close to getting there, you gotta have a turkey. Yesterday, took some time off. I was playing Call of Duty Ghost with my daughter Anna, right up there. I'm really, really good at that game. And it dawned on me what kind of interesting language our military personnel and our veterans use. Our veterans are an interesting bunch of people. As the chief did in our story, they more frequently respond with action rather than words. They don't spend a lot of time talking about their experience in the military with non-veteran people. And that's because it's a different language. The jokes are different, the phrases are different, the words that they use are different. For example, and I'll use air quotes to help make my point here. If you were in the Marine Corps and you wanted a pen, you might call for an ink stick. If you called for a moonbeam, you might want a flashlight. Oh, I forgot my air quotes, moonbeam. If you're in the military and you're putting on your go fasters, that means you're lacing up your tennis shoes and taking off those boots. If you don't have to actually eat a snake to be a snake eater, but you do have to be in the special forces. And even sometimes the language differs between branches. For example, if you wanted to use the restroom in the Navy, you would go to the head. If you wanted to use the restroom in the Army, you might go to the latrine. So the language can be different from force to force. Our veterans also have an unspoken language. They remove their cover whenever they enter a building. We know those as hats. They stand wherever and whenever they hear the national anthem, and they render a salute towards anyone or anything that may command their respect. These actions have far less to do with showing off that they are a veteran, and more of communicating their pride in their country and in their service. And then there's their clothing. You may see their uniforms to be cool, but know that the privilege of wearing each part of their uniform came with a price. Each part is part of that military communication. For example, they may earn stripes, or a hat, or a pin, or even different pants by raising in rank. But probably the one thing that communicates the most respect and information between two service veterans is what's known as fruit salad. Now, fruit salad is another military term. It's the display of ribbons and medals on their uniform, and usually you see that in the upper left-hand portion of their uniform. Those ribbons not only identify achievements, but also honors and sacrifices they have made in their line of duty. They do not choose these honors, but are bestowed them from experts who have recognized their valor, their honor, and their heroism. The highest of these honors that they wear in the upper left portion of their uniform are called decorations. You will find the decorations in the upper right-hand portion of their fruit salad. That's how precise it is. For example, if a military member was wounded in battle, he or she may receive a Purple Heart. You would find that Purple Heart in the upper right portion of their ribbons. However, the majority of the uniformed men and women that you see over here are no longer wearing their active duty uniforms. They don't necessarily wear their military uniforms bedecked in fruit salad either. That doesn't mean that they haven't earned those honors. It doesn't mean that they haven't shown valor. It means they wear a different type of uniform. Most of the uniforms that you see over here are members of our military service organizations. The Veterans of Foreign Wars and its auxiliary, the American Legion and its auxiliary, and the Legion Riders, and the DAV. Their uniform means something different. These uniforms are communicating acts of service. Usually this service is for our men and women who return from active duty. The wearers of these uniforms understand exactly what our returning active duty members need and what they don't need, almost as well as a parent knows what their child needs. You see, they've been there before. Here's another tale for you. There were two warring tribes in the Andes. There was a tribe in the mountains, way up in the mountains, and then there was a tribe in the lowlands. One day, the mountain people came down and they raided the lowland people. They took all their plunder and they took a baby all the way up to the top of the mountains. So the lowlanders didn't know quite what to do. They put together their best party of fighting men, strongest men. They sent them up the mountain after this baby. The men tried, but they didn't understand how to climb. They didn't understand the trails to get to the top of the mountain. So after several days, and they've only gone a couple hundred yards, they decided to give up. Just as they were giving up, they looked up and they saw a woman coming down the mountain. That woman was the baby's mother. And on the mother's back was the baby. When they saw her, they said, "How did you do this? We couldn't climb that mountain, and we are the biggest and strongest men. How did you do this?" And she said, "It wasn't your baby." Our friends and family who are in the military leave the river, and they serve their country when they return. And when they return, they may be different. They may not be as fun-loving or as carefree as they were when they left. And that's because they've seen something that us civilians cannot fathom. The uniforms of the people that you see over here are a link to our returning military members. Their mission is to serve those that have given away part of themselves for the freedoms our young speakers talked about before. It is these veterans serving other veterans that provide the understanding and compassion that us civilians could not possibly understand. Like the woman in the story who accomplished what the bravest warriors could not, rescuing her own baby, our veterans service organizations accomplish what we cannot. They are equipped with the correct language and equipped with the right experience. They know which veterans are living in our community and which ones need help. These men and women are the ones who tirelessly raise funds for organizations such as Camp American Legion, where veterans can find rest, relaxation, and rehabilitation. They help our veterans organize transportation to and from the Veterans Hospital. They help provide ceremonies when one of our veterans passes away. And they even provide scholarships, such as the Patriot's Pen, for our high school seniors and students. Lastly, these veterans have some pretty cool stories to tell if you sit down and talk to them. Speaking of stories, one day down at the American Legion post, 3 old-timers were shooting the breeze, and they ran out of ideas about talking about their own heroic exploits. Naturally, they started talking about their ancestors. So one of the old guys says, "Well, my great-grandfather at the age of 13 was a drummer at Shiloh." The next guy said, "Well, that's nothing. My ancestors were in the army when General Custer fought and lost at the Battle of Little Bighorn." And the third veteran said, he thought for a minute and he said, "I'm really the only soldier in my whole family. But if my great-grandfather was living today, he'd be the most famous man in all of the world." The other two looked at each other and they finally asked, "Why? What'd he do?" And the third responded, "Nothing much, but he'd be 165 years old." So, I know that was a great one. A little courtesy chuckle in her. All right, these men and women in these service organizations over here are our heroes' hero. Can you join me in a round of applause for our heroes' hero? Take a careful look at the ladies and gentlemen that you see in uniform over here. Maybe stop and shake their hands or say thank you. Maybe you want to even stop and take a selfie with them. You'll probably get 100 likes on it if you do. These men and women not only have served our country in military service, but they are continuing to serve our veterans. And who doesn't like that? Thank you.
The high school concert band will now play military service songs to recognize each branch of the military. You are welcome to stand when your branch's song is played.
Patriots' Penn speech, and I'd like to thank the Ladies Auxiliary for giving me this marvelous opportunity. Recognition and respect. I hear the patriotic sound of our national anthem, and my heart swells with the unequivocal pride and gratitude for our nation's soldiers and veterans. The music flows with grace, precision, and respect. Upon hearing the melancholy trumpet perform the fluid and harmonious lines, recognizing a fallen soldier, I am engulfed in sorrow and gratitude. The fragrance emanating from intricate blossoms set next to a memorial remind me of the heartbreaking losses that were involved in the quest for our freedom and safety. Overwhelming me with anguish. This memorial symbolizes the sacrifice our soldiers made, recalls the memory of the fallen, and recognizes the courage and selflessness our soldiers and veterans possess. The daily news broadcasts a recording of troops saluting their lost comrades. These events provoke emotion from deep within the soul, respect, angst, and pride. One person can evoke the many sentiments I feel, a veteran. There are no words to convey the gratitude I feel toward America's soldiers and veterans. My appreciation for the sacrifices each veteran has made for our country is insurmountable. I'm overcome with admiration for their unwavering courage, their indefatigable dedication, and the safety they provide for each and every individual in our nation. America's veterans and soldiers strive to ensure our country's security, liberty, and freedom. A veteran symbolizes bravery, strength, and selflessness. A soldier defines freedom for all mankind. An American veteran is a family member, a friend, or an unknown person you pass on the street. No matter which scenario, he or she is a true hero. My appreciation extends to every veteran in this auditorium, every soldier serving our country, and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure our life, liberty, and freedom. I'd like to end my speech with a quote by Randy Neusbauer. While only one day of the year is dedicated to honoring our veterans, Americans must never forget the sacrifices that many of our fellow countrymen have made to defend our country and protect our freedoms. Thank you.
At this time, we will have the presentation of the Patriot Pen Awards by Ms. Thompson and Ms. Bittenbender from the Ladies Auxiliary.
Very nice to see so many people that filled up Patriot's pen. We had 22 entries, and we were grateful for those. Our third place winner is Annalise Callahan. Second place was Noah Miller. First place is Daniel Higginson.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, we will have Mr. Bert Jensen from the V.F.W. come up to present the Boys and Democracy Award.
back, there were 23 entries, and they all did a fantastic job, and they're all featured back. Unfortunately, we could only have 3 winners. Without going any further, third place, Zachary Neto. Second place, Claire Reese.
across America in military ceremonies, recognizing veterans of the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guards. Tables will be set as a way of symbolizing and the members of the military profession who are missing from our midst. They are called POWs or MIAs. Some of you call them brothers. This table here is set for one. It is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressor. Remember. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember. The single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep their faith awaiting their return. Remember. The red ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, is reminiscent of the red ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting for our missing. Remember. The candle. The candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unconquerable spirit. Remember. A slice of lemon is on the red plate to remind us of their bitter fate. Remember. There is salt upon the red plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us. Remember. The chair is empty. They are not here. Remember. All of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Remember until the day they come home. Remember.
Of the Northland Pines School District for supporting the All American Kids Club, which recently expanded to St. Germain and Land O'Lakes, as well as supporting all of our patriotic endeavors as a district. We are proud to say that our district truly values our community and our veterans. To encourage our district's involvement with our community's veterans, Dr. Ritchie would like to invite you to his Veterans Coffee Pledge on February 26, 2015, 9 a.m. at Eagle River Roasters. And there are flyers out in the commons if you do get to pick one up. On behalf of the students and staff of the Northland Pines School District, we would like to thank everyone for joining us and honoring our veterans. Thank you, veterans, for investing yourselves into the security, safety, and well-being of our nation. We would like to conclude today's program with a special tribute by our very own Mrs. Russ Miller and the Retirement of Colors.
Pretty emotional ceremony, so I might need some help. Please feel free to sing along. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He's trampling out the vintage where the brakes of wrath restored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, or amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America share.